Hey friends, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but I found on TikTok and then Tumblr the Order of the Antlered Kind, which is a study group, basically, or a study curriculum for pagans. It's not specific, it's not denominational, it's not ADF or OBOD or Wiccan or anything. It has a kind of druidy slant, but not in any like tradition sense. For all that it's called the Order of the Antlered Kind, it's non-hierarchical, it's not centralized, it's just people who are using the same study guide. Anyway, I found this and I really liked the curriculum. I'm stepping back from my coven and priestess duties because of my illnesses, so I was kind of looking for a little bit of structure and kind of something I can do and feel like I'm making progress. So I decided to start it. The curriculum has 5 stages, from little itty bitty seed to great mighty tree. As you advance through the curriculum, you do more and more research and more practical application of your research. I have officially finished my seedling path. These are my little notes. You can print out the PDF of the curriculum, the guide, study guide. I actually did most of this on spring equinox. It was a beautiful day and I went outside to a park that's a few blocks from my house that I had never been to before, and I just sat among some nature that I hadn't sat in before, and I filled out the questions. The questions for the seedling path are largely not homework assignments the way the later paths will be. Question 1. Read through the how this works. What are you most looking forward to, and what do you think will challenge you the most? I am really looking forward to having a structure. On the pages, there's little check marks, and being able to check stuff off is gonna be like fucking cocaine. No, more like heroin, because it's gonna like soothe, I don't know, it's gonna be like a fucking drug to me. I am worried about some of the later grades. Canopy and Olarv, the 4 and 5, both require you to take kind of larger projects and return that back to the community, which is good, and I love that. I think that's a great feature of the program, but I'm worried that it might be too much for my frail little body. How am I gonna prepare for that? I'm gonna go slow. Yeah, that's really, that's it. A lot of the rest of the program is research, which I love, and doing art, which I love, and doing witchcraft, which I love. Question 2 is take a moment to reflect on your childhood. What were you always drawn to growing up? Who did you want to become? What hobbies or interests were your favorite? Kid me loved telling stories. I still do. I'm not that different. There were times when I wanted to be a writer. There were times when I wanted to be a marine biologist or an FBI agent. I wanted to be a marine biologist because I really liked dolphins. Then I learned that doing marine biology involves a lot of smelling fish and a lot of eating fish, just because if you're on a boat for like 3 months in a row tracking dolphins, you're probably going to be eating fish. That's just, it would be stupid to not be fishing off the side of the boat and eating what you can. And I hate fish, so I stopped wanting to be a marine biologist. I mean, the passion that I can pull from there is just the passion of learning about stuff. The dream of being an FBI agent was a dream about looking into things and digging in and solving problems, which I can still do with research, you know? Oh god, I forgot about, I used to draw comics when I was a kid, and maybe I'll do some sequential art as part of this program. I liked telling stories, and I liked stories about magic and about nature and about the way the world could be, and that really hasn't changed. I'm absolutely the same kid in that regard. Question 3. Where did you find the most magic in the world around you? The most wonder? Take a peek into what your inner child wanted life to become. What parts of that can you embody now? When I was a kid, We were near a park and near a river, and that was hands down the most magical place, to the point where when some building had to happen and the specific beach by the river got not torn down, but like enough of the trees and stuff was diverted that that beach disappeared. I felt genuinely sad because that was spring and summer and fall. You know, we'd go to the park, we'd go across and then down a bunch of hills and then under some old ruined walls that had like an arch in it. So like through a little tunnel, and then through the tunnel was the beach and a river that was pretty shallow and very safe for us to swim in at that location. And you can like walk for, I fucking loved it. Young me wanted to be a fiction writer, among the other things. How can I bring that now? Is visiting the other forest and river that I'm near. It is a small drive to get from my house to the botanical garden that goes down to the river, but it's not a hard drive, and it's a free park. And it does carry some of the same magic for me. And I can still embody some of the desire to be a fiction writer with tabletop RPGs. I got really into playing and making those in the past couple of years. I've always been into Dungeons and Dragons. It's just lately that I've been getting into other systems. And that kind of scratches a lot of the same itch. Question 4. Take a moment to focus on your current life. Why did you seek out this path? What isn't working in your current day-to-day and what is? What do you need to feel recharged, creative, and connected to nature again? Where do you feel the most dysregulated? Give yourself a clear idea why you're embarking on this journey. I've gotten a lot less healthy in the last 2 years and in the last year. And that's limited my ability to do what I used to do in order to be connected to nature and connected to my gods and connected to my ancestors. A lot of that is gone, so I'm looking very specifically for a way to remind myself to keep practicing and an excuse to keep practicing. That's it. That's what's not working, is I've kind of lost some of my ability to do stuff, so I have to kind of reshape my spiritual practice, and I have to do it a little more intentionally than I have been. Question 5. Peek into the future. In your dreams, what does your spiritual life look like? What are you practicing, and how, and with whom, and how do you feel? What's different about this ideal than where you are now? How can you get there? Goals may change over time, but it's good to give yourself something to aim towards. In my wildest dreams, I'm priestessing again. I'm doing 8 festivals a year as like public events with food and rituals and activities. That's not happening unless a lot of miracles happen first. Realistically, I want to be going to the events in my area that are low impact. There's like a potluck that runs in my city that's like a pagan potluck, and I want to have the energy to go to that because the people who run it are great. And I think I want to get back to hosting dumb suppers. I used to host those in my house for my friends and family. That kind of dwindled during parts of high quarantine, but I would like to get back to that and to have the energy to provide that service to my community. And then I think I want to have a regular prayer practice offering set up or something for the Morrigan and for Bridget. I believe we're on question 6. Peek ahead to the next path, look at the curriculum and make a list of all the supplies that you'll need in order to begin. Find those supplies so you can fall into the flow of your path. The next path involves a lot of art, a lot of witchcraft, and then a lot of learning about nature. I have all of the art supplies. I have most of my media picked out. I have infinite resources for witchcraft. The stuff on learning, specifically geology, I don't have. The Druid section of the path, which is about learning about nature, is divided into like botany, zoology, geology, ecology, and bushcraft. You know, I've got all kinds of books about herbs, and I know how to look for books about herbs that will be, or for plants that interest me. I know how to look for animal books that interest me. I'm sure I can find a number of like ecological documentaries that will interest me. Bushcraft, easy. I just don't know how to look for geology stuff that interests me. So I think I have a couple of trips to the library in my future where I just kind of sit in that section of the library and pull books until I find something that's not dull as a rock. Step 7 is making a little vision board. They recommend you do a collage. I did a Pinterest board because I figured that was the lowest barrier to entry that would get me to actually finish this. So I threw up some stuff that reminded me of Ireland, or like from Ireland and my trip to Ireland. A couple of paintings of my gods, as well as pictures of chamomile, dandelion, and pine, which are 3 plants that come up again and again for me, and foxes and turtles. And I should put rabbits on there as animals that come up again and again for me. I'm very happy with who I am, so I'm not doing this to become someone so much as to add practices to myself. My cat is extremely mad that I'm not playing with him. He's gonna be miserable because in about 10 minutes I have to put him in a crate to go to the vet. Here's the criminal. He really looks fucking... Oh man, this is gonna be great to color correct this shot exactly. The next step in the seedling path is devotion, so doing a little meditation to connect with allies who will go on this journey with you. I've made a new little sacred grove in my head, and I've been planting and making little fires in there and inviting... Sorry, my cat is so cute right now. And I do need to gain his trust before kicking his ass and throwing him into the vet, or the box, so he can go to the vet. And then finally, a reflection. This is my reflection. This is what I did for each of those steps and roughly how it made me feel. I am kind of excited, and then that's it. I did it. Seedling path complete. I'm going to link the YouTube and Tumblr and TikToks of the Order of the Antlered kind in the description of this. The curriculum is free. It's like a 50-page PDF. You should consider downloading it and maybe doing this stuff. Anyway, that's the video. Like, hype, subscribe, comment, all of this helps me know what sort of content you like and are interested in, and also helps me with the algorithm so I can reach other people who might be interested in this content. This has been Kate Bogg, one of many lanterns. Keep on shining. And this is the criminal! Can you see the criminal? Can the camera focus on the criminal?